Alright, welcome back to another Monster Train. We suffered defeat last time with getting a little bit greedy with a trial and getting some slightly bad draws. So, hoping to avenge ourselves and get the Boneshaker all the way to the end here. Yeah, so going random again. And let's see what we get. So it looks like we got a pretty old school combo here with Awoken Hellhorned. Stings. A lot better than they used to be, that's for sure. Could be interesting, though without spell synergies, they're just kind of mediocre. Molting Imp's not nice AoE in the early game, and Focused Growth, Big Heal could be good on some of our Awoken tanks. And let's see what artifact we get. Okay, so we're certainly going with the Gnarled Roots as spikes are one of the best and easiest ways to win with Awoken. And of course, I don't think we have any consume cards, so the Quill's not doing anything anyway. Obviously we don't have any spikes yet, but our champion can get them, and there are some creatures that can get them as well. Okay, so we can go for our champion having the spikes. So with this, it would get 10 attack on top of the 10 spikes. Pretty good. That said, I have been really enjoying the Revenge Sentient. It's very easy to put some sort of multi-striker behind it and just watch it get completely out of hand. So I think despite the good spike synergy from our Relic, I'm still going to go for this just because I value it so much, and the draw is excellent. The Cultivate can stack a unit pretty strongly, and we'll just hope to pick up a different spike synergy down the road somewhere. Obviously in the first fight, the only unit we can realistically buff is an Imp or a Train Steward, but that should be good enough. And we got 10 armor. Our deck is not particularly good at dealing with 10 armor, given that we have the torches. But I think I'm still willing to just suffer some pyre damage here. Yeah, we're certainly not going to be killing these archers very easily. Or likely any units, really. So we're looking at taking probably like 20 pyre damage if we do this, but unit draft's pretty strong release, so I'm willing to chance it here. And our first hand is quite bad. I guess the upside is we get to play all of it. I'll just go ahead and throw 3 torches at this guy. There's some universe in which we fire 3 more just to kill it. Alright, and here we want to get a Train Steward in the back to get it buffed a bit. I do want to fire a torch at this for more money. And we'll get 1 Train Steward at the top, though I don't know how much he's really accomplishing here. Let's see, okay, and our torches did pay off. We can try to Molting Imp that floor, which I think is what I'll end up doing. Save some health on the Steward, so that saves a little bit of pyre damage, and then we'll fire off a Focused Growth here. So if this can clear the boss, then these guys shouldn't actually get to the pyre and we'll be in great shape. I'm not sure that first floor can actually kill the boss, especially with this backline unit hitting us the entire time. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Let's see, does the Sting do anything on this floor? This whole floor is dying too, which is not great news. We can fit 1 more unit down at the bottom if we'd like. Could that possibly change things? We can get him down to 5, and then 2 torches unfortunately don't finish him off. So that's a bit of a bummer. We can just toss it in the way, take a hit. Let's change the math a bit. Versus these guys, let's see, she's at 45. If we toss another Imp down, we'll deal another 5 damage. So I do think this is actually better. So now we're getting her below 40 for the Pirate 2-shotter. That's good. Here we'll obviously shoot off this thing. It's not a whole lot left in our deck that can actually deal with this guy, so we're probably going to have the Pyre finish him off, which is not good. I don't think their stores do much. The region won't matter since they're doing damage chunks of 10. There's no room for the store at the top, so we'll just put one here. I don't know if it'll do much, but fire on the torch there. And here I'm regretting my decision not to take spikes again, of course. Hopefully it'll pay off in the future when we find some better units. Get this thing out of here. And if we play one steward, it buys us a hit, which does actually matter. So, calm down, toss another torch in. Alright, play this. I can't unfortunately get him under 40, so it don't matter, but Fire should live with very little health here. So, in a little bit of trouble, but we knew the trial would be dangerous. I wasn't expecting quite this much damage, but what can you do, you know? Alright, so let's see. Razor Sharp Edge is another sort of synergy in a way with this. Since it cultivates low health units, you just want to keep sort of reducing the health and increasing the attack. Generally a good strategy. Restoration Detonation, obviously great in our champ, can do quite a bit of damage while also healing, and Glimmer is a good AoE, but we do already have the 2 Molting Imps, so I'm less concerned about Glimmer in this run. I think I'll take the Restoration. That can be both a damage and a heal, which is pretty critical right now. Not that interested in 5 armor, we can do better things than that in terms of survival. This is a little too expensive for right now. Hidden Passage tends to be a good card in general because you can stack your floors. Doesn't do anything quite yet, but I will take it. Alright, and our reward for taking the trial is one of these creatures. Unfortunately, they're not exactly the ones we're looking for, though a Vulcan Hollow can do some work. It doesn't look like we're getting an Awoken Banner until here or possibly even later. So, yeah, I will go ahead and pick that up. Steelworker just doesn't quite do enough to resolve to make it a really good tank. And the Ranged Brute, as you can see, I don't even have the gold border on it. Unless you have some pretty serious rage synergies, I'm not entirely sure where this guy fits in. And certainly we don't have any rage synergies yet, so we'll just go with the Awoken Hollow. Throw some heals at it and hope for the best. And then we definitely need to improve our units to try and survive this next fight. We got a bunch of health and endless. Sort of interesting. Okay. So obviously health and endless not great. These are both DPS units. I'm looking at the Alpha Fiend as a good thing that can sit behind our hero. This guy I don't usually like that much, but if he's getting cultivate triggers from either of our tanks, maybe he could end up doing something and then buffing the tank in front of him as well. The Alpha Fiend's generally just better. Pumps itself no matter what, whereas this guy has to get the slay triggers. But he does hit the entire floor, which has its advantages for sure. And the fact that he's 1 less space and 1 less energy could matter here as well. We can put him behind the Awoken Hollow and get him big cultivate triggers. So yeah, I think Alpha Fiend's generally better. I'm gonna try this filler. Could be a bad decision, obviously. And then definitely want some health on our tank. I'll go with a Battle Stone. And then I have to decide if I want to re-roll to try and potentially get a single upgrade for Branded Warrior. And I think that's not worth it. I'll probably just head to the Merchant of Steel again the following circle. So I'm not going to spend my money either, and just hope we can survive this fight. Enemies entering with spikes 3. How much of a problem is that for us? Well, it certainly makes Branded Warrior a lot less good, as he will probably die. So we have to decide if this thing can solo, basically, the encounter. And, you know, this could be a fast run, but I'm gonna give this a shot. We have Forged Disciples coming in, which do need some DPS to actually take them down. And them leaking through the pyre with spikes means they can't leak at all. Whereas without the spikes, they could do a hit or two and we'll still be okay. Now the cultivate here does mean this gets to survive some of the spikes. I'm gonna try it. We might be looking at a very short run, but I'm greedy like that. So here we are. Okay. So bottom floor, we just want our champion with a steward, just so we can get something getting buffed over here. We're definitely torching this guy. We don't want junk in our deck. We're putting this into the top. Tank there is definitely an issue. Alright, get our Branded Warrior online. The Molting Imp probably goes in the bottom floor. It's just going to die off the spikes. It does unfortunately need some buffs first, so I don't like that very much. Certainly getting a restore up here, that's always happening, because I really want this thing to get the buff. And then, so it looks like these two will now kill this. So that's good. So we don't have to worry about her anymore. So that means the Sting gets to go down on this floor. And then, yeah, I think we have to play the Imp down here as well, just because, as much as I'd like the money, I can't be leaking this guy. He could actually cost us the game. This floor is going to consistently be able to kill one of these, but we can't be leaking too much other stuff. So I'll put this in the front, actually. It might as well eat a hit and not steal the buff. Okay. So this is dying. We're going to get a trigger. That's great. We do need to try and kill this tank in order for this to get killed on the following floor, and luckily we are able to just barely do that. So we will, and it looks like we get to just barely survive this fight. So that's not so bad. Just make sure this floor is looking okay. I will torch one of these, of course. That actually reduced our damage because the cultivate triggers, but I don't want them getting their resolve ability online, so might as well do the Sting. And then I think we just put all our healing up here and count on that floor doing the work we needed to. So here we're not doing too much. Alright, so we'll yet again kill this guy and just continue healing. We should be in fantastic shape, the boss. And indeed we are. So our strategy just barely worked. It was definitely touch and go there with the tank. If we had drawn worse, we could have easily died, but we didn't, so I will take it. Second Restoration Detonation looks good. We're going to be wanting to pump a lot of our healing into the Awoken Hollow in order to get those Cultivate triggers, which means we just want an occasional big heal on the Sentient, so we're looking to play Focused Growth on it, and then these are great as well since they also tend to, they also do damage at the and then we're putting our regens and our restores into this just for triggers. So I'm into that. Second hidden passage before we even have a synergy with it is like not amazing. I mean, it does mean we can pretty freely start picking up just DPS units and assume that we can elevator them up behind some tanks. So there is something there. I do like the card in general. The Fledgling Imp, sort of interesting. So right now our bottom floor is our Sentient with hopefully something behind it, and does leave some room for imps. The Molting Imp's obviously nice AoE. When we need that, we could do like a Welder Helper to give it some armor, but then it sits there and steals buffs. The Fledgling Helper could give Rage. I think these just aren't quite impactful enough, so it's between Hidden Passage and nothing. Given that I'm at 6 Pyre health, and I'm looking to potentially not go to Pyre Remains, well, let's think about that. Maybe I go to Pyre Remains and pick up the Hellvent on our unupgraded. No, that can't be right. Oh boy. Okay. So I think I'm gonna skip here just because this hurts me right now, and I have 6 Pyre health. Alright, and now we're hoping for a good cave event or some good units, something that would help us out. Let's check out the Merchant. Okay, we got more health, more rage, and endless again. It's not really what we're looking for. And we got another tank and a sweep creature. Now the sweep creature is pretty good. That being on the bottom floor and getting pumped can really do some damage, so we're going to take that. Obviously this would have been the better tank with the Thorn synergy, but we can get there. It's okay, we just need the sweep for now. And I'm actually okay with giving this one rage, since it pumps itself as it kills things, so making sure that I can get off to a strong start is helpful. I will go ahead and reroll as well. We got a large stone, more rage, and health. That's interesting. The large stone isn't quite... well, we could do it on this guy. Since it does fit behind our champion still. But it's a little bit awkward. Rage is fine. Health is, once again, not very useful, so we kinda missed here. I do have to pause here for just a minute. Okay, so the large stone isn't looking too enticing here. I like having the extra slot on the bottom floor. Let's display some of these imps, or if we maybe get a different one-tile support unit, we can throw that back there. And we don't want to make this have too much health, because then our hero starts pumping itself instead of the Shattered Shell, which is not what we're looking for. So I think we'll just add even more rage to it. It's another 14 attack to begin, and then it should hopefully start rolling on the slay triggers and just give us consistent damage. So I'm happy enough with that. These not so good, unfortunately. I would normally consider giving this health, but again, because we're looking for cultivate triggers, I actually don't want to. Really would like to get it multi-strike, or just more attack would be good. So pretty unlucky store there. Let's see if the cave has anything to save us. And we got this event so we can get more energy, or get these calcified embers that turn into the zero-cost spells later. These aren't very good. We don't really have synergies with that, so not too interesting. They're not like bad cards once you get the upgraded versions, but it's not worth having the curses in the meantime. These, let's see, am I energy starved? Not so much. Obviously, we can't play all our cards every turn, but a lot of our cards are very bad. So, well, we're going to get extra draw from our champion as well. So this is kind of interesting. It's a little scary taking it with 6 health going into a boss fight. It could easily make us have a very bad hand. But you know what? Well, we're on a risky run here, taking the trials and blights into our deck. Maybe I want to do a purge here as well. Let's see, next level, we're likely to go this way. We could use some Merchant of Magic, and what else is there? Oh yeah, the unit banner could still be helpful. We still have just 2 floors really. We have this passage, so we could try to ascend something somewhere. So we could definitely use another unit. Perhaps we can just multiply one later, but that's pretty good. Still, I'm going to take the time to remove something from the deck here, and it is going to just be a Train Steward. We're not enough space for all of them. A little less useful than Torches still at the moment. Okay, getting Armament Slay is fine. Those guys coming with this much rage is a little bit scary. We got sort of lucky in that the bottom floor is smaller, so we can set up on the other 2 floors and at least let this rage decay a little bit before we start getting absolutely wrecked by it. Okay, and then we do still want this with our sweeper and this at the top. Go ahead and torch one of these guys, and we have to decide if we would rather have these stewards be dead or alive, and I don't really want to draw them later, so I'm happy with them dying here. Okay, apologies for the breaks there in the video. Yeah, we're set up okay here. Boss hitting quite hard, of course, but the rage will decay and should be a little less mean going forward. Okay, excellent. We got our Shattered Shell. Should start doing some good work for us. And our Branded Warrior as well. So we're really firing all cylinders here. We don't want to deny this thing all of its triggers. That said, I do want to get this in played, I think. But perhaps it's better to just play the 2 healing spells. Yeah, I actually think I'm alright with doing that, and then a focused growth up here. Oh, and of course we don't get a trigger there because of our champion's attacks. That's slightly awkward, but it should be okay. Alright, and as I mentioned, we want these small heals on this guy just for more triggers. We're definitely getting rid of this, and it looks like we get to play our whole hand, so we just have to decide where we would like to play it. I think I like a Sting and a Torch here to get this as many Slay triggers as possible. And we'll just play the in for random damage. Hoping for another big heal for the champion here. And we got one, so that's good. Clears one of those. Do this. Let's see, there are 2 waves remaining. There is some merit in just elevating this up to the top floor and making this our one and only stand, but I think our hero can survive long enough. We will want to start clearing some of these smaller things, though. We could move a steward up to this floor, but that would deny our sweeping shell the triggers of ascension, so we don't want to do that. And again, I still want to continue stacking regen and play you, so I'll draw you later. Okay, coming in hot against our champion. I think we might utilize our imp here. to clear out a lot of his damage. This will get Slay Trigger, but the 25 armor is not that big a deal. So if I sink 4 restores into this, it gets 4 regen. It's pretty good. What's coming up? We don't know exactly. I think I'm still just gonna put all my eggs in this basket just because the regen here does so much more for us. So we expect this floor to die pretty quickly when the boss comes along, but we aren't too worried about it. And we did get 2 of these, which is excellent news. It means we get to fully heal our champion and be in really great shape. He's unfortunately not doing a whole lot here, but so just died to sweep. But you know, might as well fire them off for the extra draw. And let's see what happens here. 300 damage, not bad. Once again, get rid of the curse and just heal the crap out of the top floor. Should really be doing quite well at this point. The only downside really here is that this guy didn't get any Slay Triggers the entire battle because the bottom floor just did too well. But you know what? We went into this fight with 6 health and we're coming out of it with 6 health. I am quite happy with that result. They could use a little help, but it's not doing too bad so far. Transcendent, do you do anything interesting for us? You gain 60 max HP. It's not the most helpful in the world. Armor, again, we have heals, so the armor's just less relevant. It's not a bad card, certainly. I would put it in my deck, but I think the Wildwood Tome is going to be what we want, is putting that on our sweep unit. Lets us just sweep away all the small stuff and really get going on these Slay Triggers without our champion taking massive damage, so big fan of that one. And here, we could actually take a Demon Fiend for once. Been being offered these a lot recently, and usually don't have the energy, but with the staves, we could actually play it and then try to use our Hidden Passage to put it on a different floor at some point. And it's tough enough to survive a few waves on its own, so I like that plan. And here, this is interesting. We have 5 energy a turn, so draw is pretty tempting. But if we continue down the same upgrade path with Sentient, we're going to get even more draw from her, which makes me potentially want more energy. That also starts letting us pick up some expensive spells, and you know, Demon Fiend is nice to be able to play anything else on the same turn, of course. So this is interesting. I'm actually not sure what's better here. We haven't had energy problems so far, but if we start drawing 1 more card from the champion and 1 more card from the reward, we're gonna start having energy issues. But I think that's okay. We have enough bad cards to cycle through that I'm happy not playing every card in my hand. Okay, so now we have our sort of middle unit. We're going to obviously look to improve, but it can sort of tank a few hits and then get elevated to top, where it supports the Oaken Hollow and the Branded Warrior. The bottom staying the same, with hopefully Shattered Shell getting a sweep or quick at some point. So we do have a little bit more room, though not that much. So I could see picking up another unit as our original plan, or we could go to remove an artifact. Let's see, the Merchant of Magic, what am I interested in improving? I would like to potentially freeze the Hidden Passage, so we can use that at our leisure. Just in case we draw it before the Demon Fiend, we don't have to cycle all the way back through the deck. Focused Growth, getting cheaper, these getting stronger would be nice. Our basic spell is not really doing a whole heck of a lot for us. Versus removing is just great. We have lots of stewards we don't want. It's torches we don't want, so that's great. And artifacts are obviously usually helpful. What's our next circle? Let's take a look at that. So here we have a duplicate, pyre health, and coins. Don't have anything I'm super interested in duplicating as of yet. So maybe we go to the magic merchant in the next circle and take our removal. Now we get double removal, which is excellent. So I think I'll do that. Let's see what we got. We can get energy from our imps. Not the greatest. We have 2 whole imps. So we'll take the guild marker. Sure. Definitely getting rid of more train stewards. There's not room for playing them. And so now we have, again, the choice to get spikes, but since we now got our sweep creature spikes, become substantially less relevant. They would still be good against bosses, but our heroes don't really have enough health to tank the bosses for that long with the regen going into the hollow, so we'll just go for more health, more cultivate, more draw. Should be good. Alright, there we go. Still have a decent chunk of gold. Spend in that store next time. Do we care about Spell Shield? I don't believe so. It only stops our torches, which are... it stops our restoration detonations too, but I think we have plenty of DPS and our pyre's much healthier than before, so... Happy to take this extra gold, which thanks to the guild marker will go. A little extra bit as well. Okay, so didn't get our sweep right away, that's fine. We will still play this on the bottom floor. And unfortunately, it looks like we're taking 1 damage from the shard here, but I do want to get the Demon Fiend down. It should be pretty good. Of course, as well. Take our licks, it's okay. And Fiend should help clear the way for the Random Warrior to do his thing here. Alright, love to see the Shattered Shell. Love to see the Awoken Hollow. Now this one I'm not quite as willing to keep, so I will go ahead and dump that. The Sting doesn't do much for us. And then we have to decide between playing some combination of these versus just focus growth. This is interesting. I like getting multiple triggers on the Awoken Hollow with a combination of these, but that actually kills this, which is bad because it denies us our Slay trigger. So I think I'll just go for the focused growth here. Could see that being wrong. Rage math is a little bit too much for me to do. I'm trying to figure out exactly here. But we should get another Slay trigger as these guys advance. We get to punch one and punch the other, so that's really great. Still don't want these in our hand. They're a problem. Okay, you could use a bit of a heal. And I'm not seeing a lot of reason to play the Imp here. Could stop some damage on the Fiend maybe, but that's not that big a deal. So I'm definitely playing at least 2 restores. I just have to decide if I'd rather take a damage or play a restore. And I think we're doing well enough in this battle that I will prevent the damage. And now we're seeing why the draw, the hand's just full every turn. So definitely looking at energy for the next boss reward, but that's alright. Okay, and this is the hidden passage we were looking for. Get him going for the boss and for getting hopefully some rage off this fella. And we do still want quick here. Reduce the incoming damage a little bit, even though it does get rid of some of our cultivate triggers. I think that's a well worth exchange. Let's see, you're still missing some health, so restore you, and you getting hit doesn't really matter. I'm just going to play some of these crappy units to get them out of the deck. Again, we're doing well enough that even these 1 damage shards are worth getting out. And we'll just restore the crap out of this guy. Slay trigger, very nice. And we should be in pretty fantastic shape here, and we're killing the boss on the first floor. Fantastic news. I guess I don't really need to play any of this. Our slay creature down here really going off. So we got our trial money, fantastic. More big heals I am in for, I think. We have the extra energy, and again, torches, the train steward, the imps. There's just a lot of, we have 4 curses. There's a lot of cards in the deck that, even though we're drawing a lot, we can't put our energy into good use necessarily. Steal away this thing. Inferno's interesting. Once we clear out the middle floor of the Demon Fiend, they can start doing some work, but until then it's kind of a dead card, so I don't think it's the deck for it. I don't want imps, and I don't think I have consume cards I want to return to my hand, so I'm happy to skip this. Alright, as I mentioned, we're happy to go left here, try to finally improve our spells, and then probably try to hit a Merchant of Steel to finally get this guy, who's been with us for a long time, improved, and get the Demon Fiend something as well. So, yeah, let's see what we can find here. Double stack, not really worthwhile here. 20 magic power and consume is good. We would happily upgrade one of the torches to actually do something and then get out of our deck, and I will make this a little bit cheaper. Just skip out on the double stack here. Remove consume at +1. So we could start applying quick to multiple units. Is that good? This is really the one that needs it. It's interesting on the warrior just to try and get more slay triggers going, but I don't know that it's worth the price bump and the 95 gold. 10 magic power, happy to see that on this. Deals more damage, deals more health, and reduce cost, I think just once again on Awake. That becomes a pretty solid card to copy that one as well in future vortexes. Or maybe an event. No, looks like we're getting a rail spike. We are about to remove 2 cards. I think I'll just remove the steward that way and do a spell rail spike here on, again, one of the torches. Get that out of our deck. Since the steward there could just not be removed more, so here we will cut a steward. And then I have to decide between an imp and a torch. Yeah, their stores are pretty helpful still, and these things at least replace themselves on a next turn. The imps have some small utility. I think more so than the torches. Plus, once you play them, you don't have to draw them again, so we'll keep those around for the time being. Could look to spend money on more removes. Let's see, we're going here. We're looking to do some pretty big shopping. We have 300 gold though. I'll do one more remove. But we are starting to get to a pretty reasonably sized deck here. If we get rid of too many cards, we're looking at drawing our curses all the time, which is also not ideal. But yeah, we'll save 200 gold for the store. Let's see if we can't hit hard. And we got 15 armor. Usually that's a pretty bad one for Shattered Shells. It starts pretty weak, but in our case it has 14 rage. So it starts off hitting quite hard. So I think I'm happy to take this trial. XDM's not very good, but that's okay. Yeah. Might have a little bit trouble actually finishing off the overcharged tanks once they get all the armor on top of their 15, but you know, with their base attack, if they get through at 6, we can take a few hits on the fire, I think. Just really hoping to get our sweep unit early here. Okay, well we did draw it, which is good. The middle floor being reduced size is actually okay still, since these two units will fit. The Demon Fiend will end up being slightly awkward, but that's alright. Of course, get our Woken Hollow going, and we just get to play our whole hand here, which is great. So we'll apply quick, and just throw a bunch of regen there. And these guys should all just die without doing anything whatsoever. Very happy to see that. I think we'll just go ahead and pop the Demon Fiend up right away. There's not any reason not to. Not super excited to play any of these cards. I mean, Focus Growth would be nice, but I don't want to have to wait until the deck cycles back around. So we'll take her 1 damage and just deal with it. And having the extra attack here for some of the tankier units will definitely quite a bit. Branded Warrior, of course, going to the top. He's missing health here for these, unfortunately. This is our Purge Torch, so we want to play that one. In the meantime, we'll just heal you a lot. And yeah, just hit him as hard as possible. Let's see. Yeah, so he's gonna leak the Pyre, but should only get 1 hit. Not really a huge concern. We can maybe solve that with some stings. Looks like we aren't doing a whole lot else anyway, so... yeah, there we go. Now he's going down. These. I could even further move the Demon Fiend. Trying to figure out if that's good for this battle. This is gonna have more health, so it is better for the boss. Yeah, you know, I'm actually okay with that. Defeat along. Maybe you can get some extra rage as well. And then we don't want to actually kill these guys, because that will just deny us Slay triggers. But we will throw out a Consume Torch there, and we won't play the Imp because of the Harvest trigger again, so we just have to play crappy torches, unfortunately. And our land here is getting quite powerful. We're a giant hand, mostly not much. I don't actually want to kill you with that. You're at full health, so we'll just give you all of the regen restorations. I will get rid of the shard. I don't think the 6 health is worth denying the trigger here, so I'm not going to do that. Play the Imp instead. Okay, this boss should be pretty straightforward. We're getting a huge amount of triggers as it multi-strikes. How are you doing? You're dying. That's great news. Are you dying and giving us rage? You are. Okay. So we don't have to worry about you. We'll just play our cards here. Yeah, I'll fire an Awake on this. Just play a bunch more healing on this. Yeah, so we're seeing how our plan is shaping out here. These guys do need to be improved for the later fights. Obviously, this is not going to take out a 4,000 health boss, but it's fine. Here, none of this does anything. So, just, I guess, play these just in case, though I don't imagine it matters very much. So we just get all of these cultivate triggers. And this, and watch the boss get killed. Fantastic. So we have lots and lots of cash with our guild marker. That's so much money. We got another big heal. Preserved Thorns, not really what we're interested in. These things don't do much in our deck. Adaptive Mutation. Do you do anything? Not really. I mean, we could end up putting a bunch of health on one of these two minions with the plan to flip it at some point. It's sort of a cute play, but I don't think that's good enough. Though another focused growth. I feel like we have enough healing for now, so I think it's just a skip. And then these don't really do much for us, so that's another skip. Don't really have armor synergies. And again, we have so much healing, the armor isn't contributing a whole lot to the cause. Oh boy, okay. Don't think Volatile Gauge is our play. We're already drawing tons of cards. You don't want to randomize the costs of most of them. So yeah, not good there. So we'll take the Precious Plating. Makes our Pyre very tough. And now we're hoping to get lucky here. Okay, we got Quick and a bunch of health. I guess we should have gone for the flip plan there. But you never know what you'll get. I think I will put Quick on this. Has a chance to give it some more slay triggers. It's not great, but it does something. Actually, hold on. We have this Gnarled Roots. This is actually a 10 attack upgrade as well. So I might put this on the Demon Fiend. It gives it a bit of extra health when it has to survive on its own floor. Spikes, then it gives it attack thanks to that. And then yeah, I will give this guy Quick, just to hope to get some extra triggers going. Okay, we did find Multi-Strike, that's big. I do think it goes on him over Demon Fiend, though. Demon Fiend is certainly a more powerful unit on its own. Though this guy is going to get a bunch of Cultivate triggers, so I think I'm happy putting it on him. And then we have to decide if we want to fill this last slot up and be done with Steel Merchants, or if we're looking to visit another one and hope to find more Multi-Strike, or something else that could be powerful. I don't really want to visit a Steel Merchant for one upgrade, so I think we're going to plan to not do that. We're on Seraph tempering the strength of our units, which is hopefully okay. We should be buffing enough that we're not too worried. So yeah, I will go ahead and just give this thing more attack. Makes it a pretty solid unit. And hoping for some strong events here. Alright, we got the old Trap Shoot Steel Pulley. Yeah, I'm generally a much bigger fan of the Trap Shoot. As you can see, I don't have this golded because I don't think I've ever picked it in my life. It's a powerful effect, but usually I prefer to just drop something, daze it down there and make it walk through all my damage rather than hoping that my Pyre can handle it, as this can't solo a large enemy on its own. So once again, we'll go with the doors, and the cost difference, of course, fairly relevant there too. Since we're doing giant hands, we'll have things to do with our mana. Once again, we could look to remove. I think I'm okay with that. It looks like we're going to get one more removal vortex for the end. So I'm happy to maybe purge one or two more cards here. another bad torch. We have the imp still. Yeah, I'll get rid of an imp, then plan to get rid of the torch and the other imp, the final one. Save the rest of our money for upgrades or trinkets or whatnot. We got our second boss here. Summoning shards, which will punish us with casting spells, or summoning creatures, or having creatures die. Let's see, small floors at the top. It's a little bit interesting, as it could mean, well, we can't fit these two there. So, decide exactly what our play is. I'm still happy to have the champion at the bottom. Probably put this in the middle and then try to set up for something with the ascents. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but should be fine. This will probably end up having to do some tanking for us. And do we want to fire one of these off or prevent one damage? I do like killing this right now, so I'm just going to do that and take my one. As always, hoping to draw our sweep unit as fast as possible. We got it. So go ahead and play that down here. Start clearing these junk units out of the way. Unfortunately, I think the way we have to play this is to put this up here on its own for now. Get this guy going at this level, and just hope to push him up as soon as we can. In the meantime, you're not missing a whole lot of health, so we'll probably just look to, this isn't doing any can stuff. We're playing Awake, and I guess we might as well do a bunch of damage to the boss here. 100 is nothing to sneeze at. Right, I forgot to have quick innately, so we're not clearing the units quite as quickly as we'd like yet, but here's our tome. Though we do have the incant stone down here. I do still want to play this, but I want to make sure I do it later if possible. Get other stuff out of my hand first. Like this, and like this, I think. Yep. That looks correct. Doesn't cant on that floor, unfortunately. So I have 4 more mana. I think because of this, I'm once again going to take my 1 damage just to not make spells too expensive. So we'll play everything except this torch, which we don't care too much about. Am I willing? Yeah, I'll heal you just in case, I think. That seems fine. You do have to survive a whole nother run through the deck. And then get our quake going. Sweep, luckily not an issue because of the cultivate triggers. That should be true for the top floor as well if this guy even gets there, which it doesn't look like he's going to. Okay, we got a harvest there, that's fine. I will play the imp to get it out of the way. And then, let's see what we'll do the rest of this turn. Obviously playing this thing just for the card draw. It looks like our champs has taken some damage, so I want to play one or both these big heals on it. The Awake gives regen, which I really like doing at the top here. So I think we'll just make do with the focused growth here. And stack more regen at the top. And these things don't really do a whole lot. Fire one off. Hold on to the trap shoot in case something goes wrong. One interesting play I could have perhaps gone for there is to drop the Fiend down to the bottom. But it looks like we got our hidden passage back, so we'll just go ahead and put the Fiend back on top. So we managed to do everything there. We of course don't want to cast spells up here this turn, so we'll skip out on turn of doing that. While we just fire off some heals at our champion. That's quite... oh no, kills with the Shattered, so that's good. This is looking pretty smooth so far. Just a little worried for the final boss. This might just not be quite enough damage without getting a whole lot of regen on the Oaken Hollow. But so far we're doing okay. This is a little more than Harvest. We don't care about that. You don't really need healing, so we're looking to just fire off a bunch of regens. Looks fine to me. We got a little bit of extra rage up there, that's nice. We could find one of the rage-related trinkets or yeah, artifacts that would be good. The rage guy from the very beginning coming back to haunt us, I guess, could have been interesting here, but yeah. Just not a whole lot else to comment on as we're kind of breezing through out here. Just stacking as much regen as we can. That's all there really is to do, is just make that top floor strong. And let's see, the boss is not dying down here, not even close. But that's alright and expected. Continue to stack regen. And sure, let's name the boss. Why not? Yeah, our hero is just not really tanky enough to take care of this. This guy should have a lot more hits in him, especially with the regen we're trying to stack at the moment. 17, so that should negate most of a hit for the time being. And of course we can even stun the boss if we want for some extra value there. And yeah, watch him get destroyed by his top floor. Okay. Don't need more healing. Dark Deal is interesting, and Blade obviously 15 damage, not what we're looking for. Rage 7. 5 damage. The 5 damage isn't so big of a deal. 7 rage is a large amount. I think I'm actually gonna take this. I rarely take this card, but we're already healing the crap out of our units, so just giving them rage somewhere in there. We're drawing some cards. Could be good. And here we're definitely going for energy. Looking to just play more of our hand every turn if we can. And once again, we don't need the Steel Merchant anymore, so go for even more cash. Let's see what our champion has to offer here. Got the Spike upgrade again. I wouldn't have minded the other one. I think that hurts them when you heal. But Spike's 10 just not very impactful. I'd rather have the 60 health. And then even more Cultivate. And then let's see what we got here. Permafrost. Okay, I did mention that I wouldn't mind that on the Hidden Passage. Could also be good on the Trap Shoot. Hold that in case of emergency, as it were. It's also a good one to remove Consume from, of course. I'll do it on the Hidden Passage. It's not as big of a deal anymore, I don't think. And you know what, at this point these stings are looking kind of bad. The torch I'm planning to remove, so I will keep that one around for now. Or without consume for now, I should say. And here, sure, we'll make focus rate a little cheaper. Get a reroll going. We got double stack. Oh, that's interesting. 14 rage. That could be fun. And magic power. Definitely put that somewhere, and then cost it back. I will come back to that. I want to check out my cave in case it gives me a spell of some sort sometime. Ooh, it looks like we might get an artifact here. Yeah, I'm pretty healthy. I don't expect to be taking a lot of pyre damage, so I'm happy to throw a little bit at this here. See what we get. Yeah, still happy to do more spikes. Okay, great. Well, we will take it over money, but it's not where we want it to be. Maybe should have gone there before the champion upgrade. Okay, that's fine. Still not totally unhappy though. I think it wasn't quite worth the health that was spent on it. I will try this 14 rage. Sounds interesting. 10 magic power on the other restoration, sure. And then minus cost. Once again on focus growth. It's one of our best heals. Quick pause here. Okay, so we're off to continue our adventure. Spent most of our gold, but I think that's okay. Hopefully we can do this trial and maybe buy at least relic at the end there. Spell shield again, not too scary. We don't have very much that cares about it. The stings and torches, yeah. So I'm happy to do this. Should not impact us in a meaningful way. Oh, small middle floor is great news. We'll play our champion down here. And Harlow can hollow on top. Just immediately get it healing. Trap shoot, not quite where we want it to be yet. Might take some damage here. Didn't get a lot of damaged creatures the first turn, but our pyre is still reasonably healthy, so it should be okay. We get even more bonus gold. It's nice, and we got our sweep creatures. So that's fantastic news. Play that one. Well, let's see about giving him a tome. We do want to play our Demon Fiend. It's pretty important. Kills the spikes will now kill these guys, which is great. We are unfortunately taking a bit of damage, but if we need to, we can direct a healing spell at our Demon Fiend at some point. Alright, for the time being, I do think we do want to apply Quick here. Yeah, that seems correct. And the two stings don't do a whole lot. We'll fire them off on this guy. They come back around before he dies. We can do something with that. Alright, our hand went full once again. And yeah, it does look like this guy is not going to die, though. We will go ahead and ascend our unit, which should help a little bit. Getting it down to just 30 health, so it'll just get one attack off. We can live with that. Alright, our champion in a bit of trouble. Let's see here. Looks like we got our Consume Torch, and this guy's out of spell shields. That's great. And then we can apply 14 Rage, which is what, 28 extra damage? That doesn't quite do it, unfortunately. I will still play this card, but yeah, not gonna save us pyre health. That's what I'm trying to say. Might as well get rid of the shard. Doesn't do anything. Might as well get rid of the imp. It doesn't do anything. It's just a question of where I want to play the start deal. I think just on the unit in the back makes a lot of sense. So much rage. Of course, forgot about the harvest trigger there, but I'm capable of handling this guy anyway. Let's see here. Yeah, he's dying quite easily, so not a problem. throw some more big heals at the champion here. And then this thing as well. And we are Dark Dealing it again. This guy's now at 7 health, so I can actually do this and he'll survive, which is great because he gets extra benefit from it. Let's see, you're at... Yeah, we'll give you the focus growth as well, that's fine. Stack the rejuvenates here, and this touch doesn't do anything. 50 times 2 doesn't quite kill, not getting our slay triggers that we'd like, but that's okay. Get you back up to mostly full. Of course, I'm drawing our Vengeful Shards, we'll have to get rid of those, but get more regen rolling. There's those other cards. Alright, still just firing off more of this. Vengeful Shards, you're missing some health, so I'll give you some. And continue to play heals, this should easily kill for the bonus. Alright, next thing. Here comes the boss, and it's actually dying on the bottom floor. Fantastic. So we'll just get rid of this, and yeah, no reason to do anything. I suppose it starts off at a low enough attack value that our champion can still tank it. Alright, so we have the big payout for the store at the end. That's good news, and let's see what else we can get. We can get another Awake. Not bad, honestly. I would like something that can stack more than one regen at a time. So, let's see, was there duplication on this side? There's not. So yeah, actually we'll take that. Then, piercing right. It's kind of interesting. Or branding right, excuse me. It allows us to activate our champion's cultivate ability, and then we're looking to heal the champion anyway. And it gives us some extra armor to tank a few hits. Is it better than just drawing a restore most of the time? It's probably not, right? So, I think that's a skip. It's an interesting idea. Maybe if we got it earlier in the run, I would have gone for it, but as is. Okay, let's see if the trinkets have anything cool. Regen being better is strong. We don't stack that much regen, but like this turning 17 or 15 regen into a bigger heal is a big deal. Swapping enemies doesn't matter too much since we have a big sweep at the bottom. And this obviously doesn't help at this point, so we're likely to buy the fungus here. Let's see, I will go ahead and remove the last torch and the imp. And then see what we have here. Permafrost, not interested. Maybe on the toe, but it's not that big a deal. Any magic power and consume on a restore, possibly. Really just looking to make stuff cheaper. Primarily it's Awake we picked up, so I am going to do that. I think I'll buy this and then re-roll in this store so we can get something interesting. And we got the collection tails, which is absolutely perfect. It means our 14 rage never decays off the shattered shell. And any buffs we can get on the branded warriors stick around as well, so that's huge. we still have more money because I keep forgetting about the guild marker making everything just extremely cheap. So I'm going to take a reroll here. We got another double stack. Can't do it again on the Dark Deal, unfortunately. We can do it in this Awake, make it region 6. I'd rather just make it 1 mana. Now we have 2 1-mana Awakes. I think I'm happy to consume or restore. Alright, we're off to the final boss. I feel pretty good about this one. Picked up decent relics at the end here. And our units should be big enough that the sap won't absolutely wreck us. We did unfortunately get smaller bottom floor, which is bad. And an enemy up here, though. Torch might come to save the day. Doing one last thing for us at the end here. So yeah, we will stick to the usual plan since we can torch this guy to make sure the Branded Warrior doesn't die to it. Yeah, and then we just have to elevator our Fiend later from the bottom floor. Okay, so Torch somehow being the best draw there. Kind of interesting. These unfortunately not doing much. Might as well do this for the draw and stack some regen. Okay, our warrior getting weaker, but he's quick, so that's fine. Demon Fiend coming at a slightly awkward time here. We need to definitely play our tank and our sweeper. Those are both very important here. Get the damage rolling. And then the question is, do we play the Demon Fiend down here? I think the answer is no, because this is so much damage for it to take right now that we'd rather it not do that. So we'll wait until we get our Frozen Ascend and then play it the second time around. It might not make it all the way to top floor, at least not very quickly, but what can you do? Here we're going to, of course, let this slay for the trigger. Might as well Sting and play our Restores. Hopefully with the permanent rage, the awkward arrangement of our units won't matter as much. Alright, so we got our Dark Deal as well, that's cool. Alright, let's think about this. You're not missing very much health yet, so you're okay. We got our Consume Sting. Play that on one of these units for sure. I was thinking about dropping this guy, but then that puts him on the floor with another Harvest guy. It's going to make it even harder to clear him off later, so I'd rather just give him one of these, and then maybe this Dark Deal is enough, actually. Yeah, that should be enough to finish him off. Oh, and I even forgot about this. This should just kill him regardless. Yeah, you're looking fine on health, so we'll just keep stacking a bunch. Regen there. 1 Pyre health shouldn't matter, so I will just give it a trigger. Hurts our score, but that's not something I'm particularly interested in. Alright. So yeah, just gonna keep stacking Insane Rage on the Double Striker here. That's a pretty reasonable thing to do, and it clears these guys out, so that's good. It's not taking too much damage on the champion. These guys getting cleared out is excellent for us. So yeah, keep stacking lots of regen. And so yeah, I mean, I'll do this just for the damage there. So get rid of that guy. Yes, I feel like we're going to be okay, even with the Demon Fiend being a little late to the party. This guy's just hitting so hard at this point. Okay, and there is our Demon Fiend. We are going to go ahead and get it going. Try to get to the top if we can. In the meantime, we're just continuing to heal, of course. Anything that has regen on it is good. Should have played Awake there. That was silly, but what can you do? And so you're missing like 9 health. That's not very much. And we just keep getting permanent rage, which is fantastic. The guy just getting absolutely out of control for us. Oh, and we redrew our hidden passage. That's really good. So get this guy out of here. Our champion can take one of these for extra damage, and then everything else we're gonna be sticking on our hollow here. So yeah, the 13 regen is now 26 health instead of 13, which will be huge against the boss who does 30 a turn. Focused growth, obviously, and then keep stacking more rage on the double striker. Yeah, I don't even know if I should be holding this. I guess I'll use it on the boss. But this feels like a pretty straightforward win from here. Nothing can really go wrong. We're drawing infinite healing every turn. And our top floor has a 300 damage unit, which is the kind of help I was talking about very early on in the run. I said, you know, these guys are probably going to need to get a little stronger for the final boss, and we got there. We got there. I don't know, we have a sting. Doesn't matter where that sting goes. And just keep stacking regen. I'm confident enough at this point now, just get rid of the curses. Yeah, even our sweep guy here is looking at 79 attack. It's quite good. Alright, keep doing the usual. Might want to heal this at some point, but it probably doesn't matter. Nothing should actually get past the Awoken Hollows. I don't actually care. Heal, play. No real reason to care about any of this. So, yeah, just let that go. And of course, we don't expect this fight to do very much to the boss. 800's honestly more than I expected. Let's see. Yeah, like I'll push to full. Why not? Boom, 1000 damage. Should do that. Yep, not even particularly close to being close here. Run up the score because I can. Horn Man here hitting for 300 twice is pretty good. Alright, so very good run. Stark contrast from last time. Just had a pretty obvious plan from the get-go. Really good relics at the end that helped us really push through the final boss in a big way. And yeah, there we are. Another run completed.